Oh my God! Look at that page.
I know, right? It's fat.
What? No, there's a Princess Peach.
Yeah, I just got a Publix.
Do you think this guy right here had a glow up or glow down?
These are the funniest glow up or glow down moment.
Probably a glow up.
Glow up? Would you want to see what it looks like right now?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Sure? This is actually him. My bad. Sorry. I think I fell. This girl right here had a glow up or glow down.
Está aqui. Ja. Ciężko. No ja.
Frederick's devastating sacrifice for his family, mourning or in the importance of himself.
Kick. Det er faktisk en banger, tror jeg.
From Rex.
Enten man skal købe en Steam-maskine, eller så skal man købe sådan en gamer-PC, fordi ja, det går.
Kan det være, der er et eller andet?
Sikkert ven.
Sikkert ven, det råbede.
Har du smagt den af? Og mit job.
Og det
Så slutter jeg til at løbe. 1, 2, 4. Og så lys, der kommer. Og så lys, der kommer rigtig også. Og så lys. 1, 2, 4. Hvor er det dumt?
Så har jeg ikke tid til at tage skole af. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For helvede.
Næsten år siden.
Så er vi oppe på 15, 16, 17, 18,
Så er det den sidste første dag.
21, 22,
Farvel, se.
24,
Min iPad.
25,
Og den har bare fungeret godt.
Ja, ja.
Det er bare kun ledningen, ikke? Og du skal ind.
Ja, jeg har noget, det er ikke andet. Altså, jeg må vinde.
Før. Gamle.
Ja, det er fra gamle hjem, ja.
Hvor langt har du så? Du har et.
Hvad så, Markus? Tillykke på første dag, tillykke med de 21, bro. Jeg føler, at jeg siger det her hvert år. Hvad sker der på kick, fam? Okay, did I ask? Did I ask, bro? I don't give a fuck. Oh, kommer positivt op. Oh. How do I know it's not a virus? Morty.
Black top, stor t-shirt, hun er dejlig, sætter hjerter smileys, hvor vi har boller med. Hun er dejlig.
Så der var Bang Stream.
Frokost med Billie Eilish. Næste dag spiser vi en ice cream. Frokost med Billie Eilish. Hun er dejlig. Tredje dag tager vi en lur, hvor vi vil ønske det var hans tur. Han bliver lidt jaloux. Han vil ønske det var ham, men jeg ryger ham lam. For vind, jeg har stjålet din dame igen. Han spørger, er du overhovedet en ven? Hvor vil din dame er væk, og nu er vi i min seng. For vind er jaloux, ja jeg har lavet råkost. Billie Eilish til frokost. Billie Eilish til frokost. Billie Eilish til frokost. Min dame Billie Eilish, hun er for dejlig. Vi spiser altid ice cream. Hendes pussy er min. Hun har det flotteste havne-ice med smukke patter og perfekt size. Lad give dig en cream pie. Min dame Billie Eilish, hun er for dejlig. Vi spiser altid ice cream. Hendes pussy er min. Hun har det flotteste havne-ice med smukke patter og perfekt size. Lad give dig en cream pie. Frokost med Billie Eilish. Næste dag spiser vi en ice cream.
Det er den samme person, hvad sker der? Hvorfor er så mange bots?
Hun er dejlig. Tredje dag tager vi en lur, hvor vi vil ønske det var hans tur. Han bliver lidt jaloux. Han vil ønske det var ham, men jeg ryger ham lam. For vind, jeg har stjålet din dame igen. Han spørger, er du overhovedet en ven?
Det skulle utroligt her.
Din dame er væk, og nu er hun min seng. For vind er jaloux, ja jeg har lavet råkost. Billie Eilish til frokost. Billie Eilish til frokost. Billie Eilish til frokost.
Det skal jeg gøre, jeg kan ikke få det. Du skal bare nå den mest
Ej, der er mange.
Ja.
Men nej, det gider han ikke. Det er den første runde. Det kan gøre det, så vi sådan med om. Ja, men der er også det. 6 der. Men hvad så det her? Det her. Ja, så der er stadig stykker derude med den mulighed. Ja, der er stadig nogle stykker, ja. Ja, der er stadig nogle stykker, ja. Hvor er der andre på det? De sætter lige... Det kan jeg ikke mere. Hvor er det?
Han er her.
Ja, det får man.
Altså, jeg på min 40 år siden iPhone. Hvordan er det?
Så er vi. Jeg skulle da også være altid have de der, så kunne de her.
Det har jeg sagt til dig.
Næsten år siden.
Så er vi oppe på ferien.
Det er ellers lust sådan, ikke? Hvad? Er det ikke lust sådan til telefonen? Jo, det er det også. Vi bruger...
Hvad så? Jeg skal i hvert fald i praktik snart. Det bliver hyggeligt. Not currently. Jeg skal have flexjob. Det finder vi ud af til ferie. Det finder vi ud af til... Det finder vi ud af til i foråret, så vidt jeg får at vide. Men jeg mangler ikke penge, Kvab. Jeg mangler ikke penge. Det kan jeg godt love jer. If I'm broke? No, bro. No. Ja.
Godt nytår, eller? Ej, det kan jeg ikke godt ud. Godt nytår. Ja, det er nogen. I ved, hvad det betyder. Det betyder energidriktid, fordi vi skal have noget koffein til at sparke op i. Jeg har glemt at lægge en video klar til i dag. Det betyder, at jeg lige er vågen og må optage en video. Så det bliver en energidrik-video, fordi jeg skal have mit koffein. Ja, det kan jeg ikke bruge for det, men I ved det. Jeg skal lige have en koffeindrik. Så i dagens anledning, så skal vi have en guava energidrik. Men ikke bare en. Er det One? Er det en Monster? Er det en Red Bull? Hvad er det? Nej, sgu da. Det er Burn fra Norge. Kan vi sige. Så ja. Burn. Guava. Kom i glas her. Well, it is a guava flavor. Ja, den er lidt halvsnottet. Ikke snottet, men det er det hurtigt stoppet for tiden, så jeg ved ikke, hvor meget duft, så jeg prøver en gang til. Okay, jeg vil duft for jeg synes, at det bare være mig.
Er det kling det? Det her, kender du? Det her, kender du? To sekunder, 2 sekunder. Og nej, ingen bong. Fuck bong. Så er jeg tilbage. Skulle lige lave lidt Lille shot. Hvordan går det lidt? Hvor det går.
Det her, shout-out.
Sammen. Det er Christian P. sin drikke, og i dag skal jeg teste. Hvad tester du, Christian?
Den her booster energy. Så er den her.
Ja. Altså, jeg har også smagt den, men jeg kan, men Christian kan forklare, hvad der skete i den video. Kom.
Yes.
Nu skal jeg rigtig til. Eller ikke til 6.
Ja, også.
Hej alle sammen. Det er Christian P. tester drikke, og nu tester den nye kult.
Ja, man.
Og I kan sikkert se på thumbnail.
Ja, man. Det er bedre at være YouTuber end at være skolelærer, fam. På den måde, hvor selvfølgelig skal I forstå det på den måde. Her. Listen to me. Ja, skal jeg sige hvorfor? Fordi jeg som YouTuber ved, jeg har reddet liv. Jeg har beviser, og jeg skal ikke pulle dem op. Jeg har valgt dem op, og jeg kan ikke valge dem nu, og jeg kan komme, tro mig. Men jeg har beviser. Så jeg har reddet liv. Der er skolelærer, der ødelægger børns liv. Let's go! Færdig. Jeg synes bare, det var den stream i... Hvad hedder... Nu her, jeg ved ikke, hvad jeg skal sige, men den stream, vi lavede. Crazy stream. Det var den eneste video med Rasmus.
Skynd dig at booke din last minute deal hos Momondo og pak kufferten.
Mange?
Ja.
Optager vi?
Ja.
Optager vi?
Ja, vi optager nu.
Kan I høre mig?
Det kan de.
Okay, fair nok. Hej og goddag. Vi prøver at smage Coca-Cola Zero, fordi light er sundt ifølge nogen, men ifølge mig gør det helt fedt. Smager... Ja, den smager cola, så meget kan jeg sige, fordi cola har den der cola med smag med sukker. Den smager bare sådan... Hvordan skal man beskrive det sådan? Smager af sort vand med brus. Det smager egentlig bare brus. Man kan smage brusen, man kan ikke så meget smage sukkeret. Det er egentlig pisse irriterende, fordi det er det, vi godt kan lide på Coca-Cola. Vi kan smage sukkeren. Jeg giver den, altså hvis man vil have det sundt og ikke have sukker i, så vil jeg give den 6, men fordi jeg gerne vil have sukker i mine colaer, giver jeg den 3.
Så er der nogen, der køber det her til mig. Slet ikke en kameramand bag.
Færdig, vi skal lige se, hvad jeg har fået. Okay. Dragon Ball. Skal lige have den her. Nej, I kan ikke se den. Det bliver ikke der, men... Se, det er hygge. Sæt hej Mio.
Så mand, Patty, Xbox og
Og med på bakken.
Vi gad ikke at dømme, jo. Han kunne ikke i dag.
Jeg stopper med at lave, eller tage en podcast og lave Monday show. Jeg tror vi starter igen til efteråret.
Så kan vi sende nogle snaps til ham, så han kan sidde og blive lidt...
Jeg vil gerne nå at lave 12 episoder.
Og misundelig.
Ja.
Vi kommer til at savne ham. Ja. Afsted med bakken.
Hvor mange har jeg lavet? 4? Ja. Men der er bare ikke kommet nogen bangers. Hvad skal man gøre? Men der skulle komme nogen næste år. Men jeg har været på. Jeg har smagt, det er dem, der er kommet. Dem, der er kommet.
Med en bilforsikring fra FDM er vi med dig, når bilen har fået en på siden af hovedet. Og med dig, hvis nogen efterlader en hilsen i lakken. Få en af Danmarks bedste bilforsikringer. Beregn din pris på fdm.dk. FDM med dig hele vejen. Nyhed. Corny havre. Hvad rimer på havre? Prøv den nye Corny havre med banan eller chokolade.
Patrick, det er Mondermandag-showet.
Så mand, Patty, Xbox og rummet er på bakken.
Ja, og ud
Vi gad ikke at dømme, jo. Han kunne ikke i dag. Så nu gør vi det alene. Så kan vi sende nogle snaps til ham, så han kan sidde og blive lidt trist over, han ikke er med. Og misundelig.
ja.
Vi kommer til at savne ham. Ja. Afsted med bakken.
Det her, det er for Bluske.
Woo, mother! Woo, mother! Det er jo punch i Danmark. Only at 7-Eleven. 42. Til mig?
Nej, kun det dig.
Dejligt.
Man lige røv.
Han drikker ikke energidrik.
Hey, imens jeg er rummet og der er lige på vandrutsbanen derovre der, så kan vi drikke en lidt sådan lemon der. 7 ud af 10. Hvis jeg så ærlig, hvis jeg skal være helt ærlig, så keder jeg mig lidt uden køleskærm. Hej hej. Hallo. Jeg er helt våd.
Det sagde hun også i går. Vandet går til banen. Fantastisk. Øj, mig teste.
Det bliver ved.
Det er okay. Det er en træer.
En træer.
Det drikkes.
Ja, nej, Asse.
Okay.
Hej hej.
Vi ses senere.
Ses senere.
Hvad?
Ja.
Bare
Ja, vi har...
mange fyre, mand.
Hvad så, gutter?
Er du lege?
Hvad har du der? Lipton. Jamen.
Fordi man skal altid have vand.
Hvorfor har du en nu på?
Fordi jeg stjålet den. Lev med det.
Mor sgu da ikke,
Det kommer du pande på, men... Har du et problem?
Ja, jeg har.
Godt. Så er det godt, jeg ikke har min kniv med.
Hvad med dig? Jeg har et problem. Med hvad?
Men med noget med dig.
Noget grønt. Ja,
Grønt i hovedet.
Noget jeg har røget.
Hvorfor er vi oppe og køre med de skyer ikke med? Oh my god. Hvorfor er det kun det her? Det er kun sove. Hvad fanden skal der for YouTube? Lad os ikke lave en Q&A. Men så skulle jeg lave en til. Den. Måske skal vi bare spam Q&A. Det er også hyggeligt at lave Q&A.
Buongiorno, bread. Choose your drink in just one touch.
Kameramand bagved. Den skal smage. Om den er god.
Lidt flad, men det smager meget godt. Meget smag. Og 1 til 6, 4,5. Så vil denne hos min mormor. Det er sygt varmt, og jeg aner ikke, hvorfor den er på. Det var så smart ud. Så her er min mormors hus. Min mor har bygget det, men min mor har lavet det om, fordi ja, det gjorde det pænere. Når min mor gik det. Så hils på mormor. Grandma. Mormor. Jeg er sgu kusine.
Sæt i gang.
Hvor skal du sove i nat? Hvor skal du sove i nat? Skat, hvor skal du sove i nat? Hvor skal du sove i nat? Where do you sleep tonight? Where do you sleep?
Du skal altid skide.
Vi skal spille Super Mario.
Jeg skal lige ned.
Ja.
de der to. Ja. Fisset det. Joe, har du, hvis du er til møde, så fisset det. Jo, jeg har fældt, jeg sagt der. Du kan ikke spille med styrke. Vil han gerne det der?
Ja, det vil alle jo. Det vil alle.
Mm.
Det ved man godt. Men det gør man aldrig det.
Nej, fordi du har ikke noget at spille på.
Hvor nu?
Op. Det er bare styr på.
Hej Mia.
Hej Mia. Godmorgen. Har vi godt i dag?
Vi spiller Super Mario.
Ted Fillmore holder aldrig en fridag.
Let's go fam. Let's see. Det er Discord. Jeg skal på DistroKid. Distro. Kick igen. Vi chiller bare.
Patrick Star calmly looks at SpongeBob, smiles, and says, "Good night, SpongeBob." Then he flips his entire house over both of them like it's a blanket.
Good night, SpongeBob.
Not a door, not furniture, a solid rock, no grunting, no hesitation, just a quiet snore seconds later. It's one of those moments that slips by as a joke until you stop and really think about it. How strong would someone have to be to lift a geological formation with that much control? And Patrick isn't alone. Sandy Cheeks casually throws anchors farther than most machines could manage. Larry the Lobster treats ship anchors like dumbbells. Mrs. Puff inflates, lifts an entire car, and floats into the sky screaming, "Oh, SpongeBob, why?
Oh, SpongeBob, why?"
And SpongeBob himself, usually weak, suddenly hoists Mr. Krabs over his head in a panic-fueled rage. So what's actually going on here? Is strength in Bikini Bottom random cartoon nonsense? Or is there a hidden pattern deciding who's truly powerful? SpongeBob SquarePants has always exaggerated reality, but physical strength in the show isn't as chaotic as it first appears. When you look closely, certain characters demonstrate consistent, repeatable feats, while others only seem strong when the joke demands it. In this video, we're breaking down how strong SpongeBob characters really are. By analyzing on-screen, we'll compare lifting feats, grip strength, durability, and consistency, separating gag-based power from genuine overperformance. By the end, we'll answer the real question: who in Bikini Bottom is secretly overpowered, and who just looks strong when the punchline needs it? Sandy Cheeks. Sandy Cheeks is usually the first name that comes up in any strength debate, and for good reason. Her power is deliberate, trained, and consistent. In Muscle Bob Buff Pants, Sandy steps up to a strength contest and casually launches a massive anchor across Bikini Bottom. As the crowd watches in disbelief, the distance is called out, 510 yards. Sandy doesn't celebrate wildly. She just smirks and says, "Beat that, SpongeBob."
Beat that, SpongeBob.
This isn't a one-off gag. In SpongeBob, Sandy, and the Worm, Sandy physically wrestles an Alaskan bullworm, grabbing, flipping, and restraining a creature that dwarfs vehicles and buildings. When it's over, she brushes it off with classic confidence. But I'm from Texas, and as you can see, no worm is a match for me.
But I'm from Texas, and as you can see, no worm is a match for me.
Sandy's strength is rooted in conditioning and combat skill. She lifts heavy objects, controls massive opponents, and performs under pressure without emotional triggers. Unlike other characters, her feats are repeatable and intentional. If strength were measured by reliability alone, Sandy would be the safest bet in Bikini Bottom. Patrick Star. Patrick Star doesn't train. He doesn't flex. He doesn't even acknowledge his own power. And that's exactly what makes him terrifying. In Home Sweet Pineapple, SpongeBob loses his house and ends up sleeping under Patrick's rock. As they settle in, Patrick calmly says, "Good night, SpongeBob," then lifts his entire rock house and places it over both of them like a blanket. No strain, no follow-up joke. He then immediately starts snoring. The key detail isn't just that Patrick lifts the rock, it's how he lifts it. The motion is smooth, controlled, and casual, suggesting complete dominance over an object that likely outweighs anything else we see lifted in the series. This isn't adrenaline, it's not emotional. Patrick doesn't even register that what he's doing is impressive. Elsewhere, Patrick has pushed massive structures, carried SpongeBob across long distances, and even helped move Bikini Bottom itself without visible effort. His strength isn't situational, it's dormant. Patrick may not use his power often, but when he does, it looks limitless. Larry the Lobster. Larry the Lobster is the most visually obvious strong guy in Bikini Bottom. He works out, he shows off, and he wants you to notice. In Ripped Pants, Larry turns Goo Lagoon into an outdoor gym. He curls ship anchors like dumbbells and invites Sandy to try. When she struggles, Larry ups the ante, stacking more weight and declaring, "Observe." The crowd cheers as he lifts a heavily loaded barbell with ease, basking in the attention. Larry's strength is real, but it's narrow. He excels in controlled lifting environments, bars, weights, repetitive motion. He doesn't display the same raw object manipulation as Sandy or Patrick, nor does he lift irregular, awkward masses outside the gym setting. This makes Larry's power impressive but specialized. He's strong in the way a bodybuilder is strong, visible, practiced, and optimized for performance rather than utility. He looks like the strongest guy in the room, but when the environment changes, others quietly outperform him. Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs isn't built like a powerhouse, but his strength shows up in very specific ways, especially grip and endurance. In Larry's gym, Mr. Krabs gleefully approaches a heavy weight machine, saying, "Oh boy, I can't believe I'm allowed to lift this pretty heavy weight for free."
I can't believe I'm allowed to lift these really heavy pieces of metal for free.
He lifts it successfully until it drops and cracks his shell. The moment is played for laughs, but it confirms something important. Krabs can lift serious weight, even if his body isn't optimized for it. Across the series, Mr. Krabs repeatedly demonstrates crushing grip strength, snapping objects, clamping down on items, and physically overpowering others in short bursts. As a former Navy man, his strength feels old school, less flashy, more functional. Krabs' weakness isn't power, it's durability. His shell breaks, his body gives out, and he lacks consistency. He can lift heavy things, but he pays for it. His strength is real, but it comes with limits. Mrs. Puff. Mrs. Puff is one of the most underestimated characters on the show. largely because her strength only appears when everything has already gone wrong. In boating school, SpongeBob crashes during an exam, and Mrs. Puff inflates in panic. As she rises into the air, she lifts an entire car with her inflated body screaming, "Oh, SpongeBob, why?
Oh, SpongeBob, why?"
The car floats effortlessly beneath her as chaos unfolds. This happens repeatedly across the series. When stressed or endangered, Mrs. Puff gains sudden lifting power far beyond her normal state. It's not controlled or intentional, it's a biological emergency response. Her strength is situational and unstable, but undeniably real. She doesn't train it, and she can't access it at will. Still, lifting a car repeatedly places her far above average Bikini Bottom residents. SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob is the most confusing case. Early on, he struggles to lift stuffed animals. Later, he throws a killer whale. Then he can't lift a glass of water. In Crabborg, SpongeBob panics after believing Mr. Krabs is a robot. Fueled by fear, he lifts Mr. Krabs over his head and repeatedly slams him into the ground. When Squidward protests, SpongeBob snaps, "That's not Mr. Krabs, that's Robot Krabs." SpongeBob's strength fluctuates wildly, likely tied to emotional spikes and regeneration cycles. His body reforms constantly, possibly resetting his physical limits each time. When emotions override his sensitivity to pain, his strength skyrockets. He isn't reliably strong, but when triggered, SpongeBob becomes dangerously powerful. Strength in SpongeBob SquarePants works because it follows a strange but consistent internal logic. Power is not evenly distributed, and it's not random. Characters draw strength from different sources: training, biology, emotion, or indifference. Sandy's strength is disciplined and repeatable. Larry's is optimized and performative. Mr. Krabs' power is functional, but limited by durability. Mrs. Puff's strength is a panic response. SpongeBob's is emotional and unstable. And Patrick? Patrick's strength exists without effort or awareness. The show never tries to balance these systems. It lets them coexist. That's why lifting feats feel believable inside Bikini Bottom, even when they're absurd. What makes SpongeBob's strength feats memorable isn't realism, it's contrast. A squirrel trains like an athlete. A lobster shows off. A crab breaks under his own ambition. A pufferfish floats cars while screaming. A sponge oscillates between helpless and unstoppable. And a starfish lifts a house like a blanket and goes to sleep. So, who's the strongest? If strength is consistency, Sandy wins. If it's raw lifting power, Patrick takes it effortlessly. In Bikini Bottom, strength isn't about muscles. It's about who the universe quietly bends around when no one's paying attention.
How can Patrick Star be this dumb and genius at the same time? 1 second he's eating sand, and the next he's explaining chemistry. And if you think it's just random cartoon logic, think again, because I don't think that's quite it. I think something's been going on this whole time. Something the show's been hinting at for years, but nobody really saw it. It all started making sense when I rewatched this one episode. And let me tell you, the stuff I found in this episode leads us to the key for Patrick's real identity. The episode plays out like any other goofy day. SpongeBob and Patrick go jellyfishing, until later Patrick runs off a cliff. Classic stuff. But when SpongeBob finds him at the bottom, something is different. Patrick's body is fine, but his head is missing. And after a short moment of searching, SpongeBob places Patrick's head back, and suddenly, his brain cog's wheel starts to fire up. This scene might just be exaggerating, but the way they show us that Patrick's brain cogs are filled with cobwebs indicate that there was a time when his brain was very active, but hasn't been properly working in a long time.
37 Earth Dimension. He's a mad scientist with a slight drinking issue.
Yeah!
He's Beth's father, Morty and Summer's maternal grandfather, and Jerry's father-in-law. Rick has spent his life traveling between dimensions, time, and the universe, making tons of friends and enemies along the way. Morty Smith, Beth and Jerry's son, is an ordinary boy, shy, clumsy, and pretty unlucky when it comes to girls, or really any form of a social life to spice up his life a bit. He frequently joins Rick on his crazy adventures, and thanks to his low intellectual level, Morty becomes the perfect companion. Then we have Beth, Rick's daughter and Jerry's wife. Beth is a very intelligent and responsible person, probably more so than any of her other family members. While she practices as a horse surgeon, her unfulfilled dream was to become a surgeon for humans. As well as that, her married life has more downs than ups, as she's almost always at odds with Jerry. Speaking of the devil, here's Jerry Smith. He's pretty useless and easy to manipulate, and that's why Rick hates him. Despite his efforts to improve, Jerry is not taken seriously by the family. But as the series goes on, we may start to see that change. Finally, we have Summer Smith, Morty's older sister. Truthfully, she's just a basic girl, obsessed with being popular. Summer is overly jealous of Morty, due to the fact that Rick spends so much more time with him. Although, on rare occasions, Summer also joins her grandfather's adventures. Now we're all set to start on this journey. So grab your popcorn and let's dive into the adventure. To start, we have episode number 1, Pilot. Rick, who is hammered to the core, enters Morty's room in the middle of the night to tell him that he has a surprise for him. Rick tells Morty that he's created a bomb. You know, to start everything from scratch. Something like a Big Bang 2.0. Morty panics, to which Rick tries to comfort him by telling Morty that first they'll go to find Jessica, his crush, since every Adam needs his Eve. But Morty gets furious and forces Rick to land the ship. Morty can't let this world he loves so much get destroyed by his grandpa. That would be soul-shattering. And that's your cold open. Not even 5 minutes in, and the world has been threatened. Lovely. The next day, during breakfast, Morty is extremely sleepy, as he didn't rest well after yesterday's adventure. Beth and Jerry are worried about this, especially Jerry, because how will Morty do well in school if he's always tired? Jerry and Rick argue, since Rick doesn't see what's the problem. For him, school is just a waste of time. At school, Morty's being bullied by this guy, Frank. When out of nowhere, Rick shows up to freeze him, taking Morty on a mission. Meanwhile, Jerry goes to Beth's work to tell her that they should send his father to a nursing home. Let's be honest, Jerry just wants to get rid of Rick ASAP. Continuing with the duo, Rick opens a portal in the middle of a random alley to a super colorful, oddly shaped world, Dimension 35C.
What is this place? It's Dimension 35C.
Rick explains to Morty that they need to find the mega seeds from the mega trees to be able to continue with his research, and so they get to searching. After a while, Rick finally finds the mega trees. Rick gives Morty some grappling shoes, so he safely makes his way down where the trees are. But Morty doesn't turn them on and falls, breaking not one, but both of his legs. Rick goes to see if Morty's okay, but Morty is clearly in pain. No worries. Rick opens a portal to another dimension to bring a medicine that makes his broken legs heal instantly. Okay, that's sick. If only he didn't take half a century to look for that medicine. His poor grandson was left writhing in agony until he got back. Morty is collecting the mega seeds when Rick tells him that they have a little problem. His interdimensional portal device has no charge left, which means they will have to return using interdimensional customs. In short, Morty will have to hide the mega seeds.
I need you to put them way up inside your butthole, Morty.
Well, once in the interdimensional customs, Rick and Morty discover that the insect-like security guards have a new machine that detects stuff all the way up someone's butt. Yeah, they're in big trouble. Rick and Morty run to escape the guards and manage to find a portal. But Rick has to enter the coordinates of their home dimension, so he asks Morty to cover him and hands him a gun. While Morty does the dirty work, Rick manages to enter the code as they escape through the portal, which takes them directly to the school. At school, Rick and Morty meet Principal Vagina, no relation, who is with Jerry and Beth talking about Morty skipping classes. Seeing this, Jerry decides that it's best for Rick to go to the nursing home and prevent this from happening again. As they pack everything up for Rick to move out, Beth tells him that she's very disappointed in him for making her son miss school, knowing that Morty is the last child that needs to be missing classes. Rick doesn't understand what the fuss is about. He knows Morty is smart, and proves it by asking him things like the square root of pi, or the first law of thermodynamics, to which Morty, surprisingly, answers correctly. Rick claims that knowledge is acquired through experiences, and not necessarily in school. The perfect speech that convinces Jerry and Beth to allow Rick to stay. However, Morty's intelligence is only a side effect of the mega seeds dissolving in his butt. Anyway, Rick is happy, because they will be able to continue going on more adventures together. Just Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty forever and ever.
Rick and Morty forever and forever 100 years. Rick and Morty's thanks.
Next up, let's talk about episode 6, Rick Potion number 9. It's the annual flu season dance at school. Okay, what an original name. Annual flu season. Morty tries to talk to Jessica, but he doesn't succeed. 1, because he's very shy, and 2, because Brad interrupts him by telling Morty that there's no chance that Jessica will notice someone like him. Oof, that's gotta hurt. Back at home, Morty shares his concerns with Jerry, who offers advice using the same strategies he once applied with Beth. But Jerry's interrupted by Rick, who tells Morty not to follow his father's steps if he doesn't want to end up getting a girl pregnant and forcibly marrying her, so that after a few years of his marriage will hang on by a thread. Yeef. Honesty above all, right? Well, Rick continues by stating that love does not exist. It's a chemical reaction. After hearing this, Morty asks Rick if he could make him a potion, to win over Jessica. And after arguing for a while, Rick accepts. Morty's happy. However, he asks Rick if there's any side effects, just to be sure. Luckily, to Rick's knowledge, there shouldn't be any side effects to worry about. Unless she has the flu. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, Jerry seeks reassurance from Beth about her love for him. But Beth is too busy to talk with him. At the dance, Morty uses the potion on Jessica, and it works without a problem. Or at least he thought so, because sure enough, she has the flu. The virus causes the potion to spread every time she coughs. Everyone loves Morty now. Rick soon realizes he forgot to mention this to Morty, and goes to check on him, just in time to rescue him from all of his admirers. On the ship, Rick rushes to make another potion to fix everything and spreads it all around, but things don't go well, because everyone transforms into mutant mantises. What a freak show! Suddenly, everyone undergoes a horrific transformation, except Jerry, Beth, and Summer for some unknown reason. Anyway, Rick and Morty go to a safe place to craft a potion again. To make everything go back to normal. Meanwhile, Beth is in trouble, as her assistant David has just turned into a mutant mantis. Luckily for her, Jerry swoops in to save the day.
I'm Mr. Crowbar, and this is my friend, who is also a crowbar.
How sweet. At least the entire monster transformation thingy seems to have fixed their relationship. Back in the city, Rick and Morty spread the new potion, and it doesn't work. In fact, now everything is worse. Everyone's all Cronenberged. Rick and Morty argue, to which Morty puts all the blame on Rick. It tells him that he has to find a new way to fix everything. Rick knows that there's a way to make everything go back to normal. Or, well, a relative way to do it. Rick and Morty open a portal to enter another dimension, where they find themselves dead after an experiment gone wrong. Morty freaks out, to which Rick tries to calm him down, explaining that there are an infinite number of alternate realities, and that this is just one of them. Basically, Rick's plan is to slip into the place of their dead self.
Hello everyone, it's your host, Set the Program. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit low effort, but people like to watch these videos, so they give me some time to work on stuff that's a lot more difficult while giving people content that they actually would watch. So today we're going to be ranking pretty much every relevant character in Dragon Ball through Super. The exceptions are obviously characters that don't really have a lot of definitive scaling. Take for instance, say Tien in Revival of F. We'll just make a tier where we can just say can't, I don't know why I wrote backwards like that. Why is it writing backwards? Can't completely scale. So, for instance, we know things like their lower limits, like the things that they get beaten by. Let's say, for instance, we know that Gotenks in Super Saiyan in the Revival of F arc is stronger than Tien. However, we don't know his lower limits, so we don't really know necessarily the weakest character that can beat someone like that, per se. And a lot of it is too headcanon-y to say definitively where we'd put them. On November 20th, 1984, Son Goku appeared.
Opdag epigenetisk hudpleje med Epicelline. Nyt Nivea Cellular Epigenetics.
The Hokage versus the Uchiha is usually a topic that will come around over and over and over again. It cycles through the internet every couple years, at least in the Naruto fan base. It's sort of like in the same category as an Akatsuki scaling video or something of the like. But in this case, I wanted to do something a little bit more specific. So usually when you see this question, Hokage versus Uchiha, who would win? most people would, say like, oh, Six Paths Naruto and Sasuke, Hokage Kakashi. These characters are a little bit too powerful for the Uchiha team. For instance, Naruto and Sasuke stalemate each other, and then Kakashi, realistically, he might just clear through all of the Uchiha. Him and Hashirama is tagging up, especially with some teleportation against the likes of Madara, even a Six Paths of Madara or Obito. It might not actually matter too much. Kakashi, realistically, he's a character who was fending off Kashin Koji, and Kashin Koji thought that it was more favorable to escape and just TP out of there rather than just one-shot Kakashi. And this guy would go on to fight Jigen later and thought he could deal with Delta, who was fighting full-power Naruto in Taijutsu. And this Naruto, as we've gone over many, many times, I think it's gone pretty concrete over the years, would annihilate the Uchiha, especially the likes of Ten Tails Obito and even Ten Tails Madara. I went over this in my adult Sasuke versus Madara video. I went over this in my could Sasuke take down all of the Hokage. In my new Boruto video, I went over more of these details. I went over this in my Baryon mode video. Realistically, everyone kind of gets the idea. Kakashi actually is a pretty heavy hitter. And Kishimoto actually implies that he has a strong relevance in the plot right now, but we just haven't seen him yet. Some people think this might be a retcon, but the fact that he could be relevant in a plot that has characters far surpassing characters that are supermaning Six Paths Naruto and Sasuke like they are random background characters that don't matter, it should tell you that more than likely most of the Uchiha are getting folded, especially Kakashi and Naruto together tagging up. Sasuke just can't carry all of that. That being said, though, you could include Sarada in the mix, and you could have Sarada instead of, say, Fugaku or Izuna, and she would probably turn the favor in the Uchiha side. Sasuke and Sarada together probably would annihilate Naruto and Kakashi, just being realistic. Sarada is capable of dodging basically the Divine Ten Tails or Divine Tree version of Sasuke in the Boruto manga, and she is just in base Sharingan. She's able to help take him out, and then when she gets her MS, she is capable of dominating and no-diffing these Divine Tree characters, at least one of them, and these characters are able to pressing base Boruto, and base Boruto is far above Jigen, so that should really just show you Sarada more than likely turns the favor for the Uchiha. Of course, we don't know exactly how strong Kakashi is, but based on just empirical data, Sarada is above him by quite a bit. Just sending Kashin Koji away, saying it's better just to go away than to take my time dealing with you, doesn't mean that you're stronger than Sarada at this moment. But, as a cute little detail, she may actually one day become the only character who would be on both teams. So that might be something to go over. Now, this also leads into Six Paths scaling versus non-Six Paths characters. So it's sort of day and night power levels. As an example, let's say you have Renegon Sasuke here versus all of the Hokage, or, even if you just have the main four Uchiha versus the main four Hokage, you have Ten Tails Madara, Ten Tails Obito, Renegon Sasuke, and then Itachi versus Hashirama, Tobirama, Hiruzen, and Minato, KCM2 Minato even. Well, Sasuke can slash through all of them. I mean, 9 Tails, slash. 10 Tails, slash. How do I deal with 10 Tails Obito? Slash, okay? So, realistically, we should ground these characters as their relative war arc primes. So, the characters would be Madara, EMS Sasuke before the Renegon, or else Renegon Sasuke is just gonna clear the whole team. Itachi, now we'll go over some Itachi stuff later, like the Edo, live scaling. And then, of course, Renegon Obito. So we won't be including Shisui, Izuna, or Fugaku. Shisui is sort of irrelevant. Danzo was faking him out. Izuna, a little bit irrelevant. Fugaku, also pretty irrelevant. Kind of hard to scale. Otherwise, on the Hokage team, we'll then do Hashirama, Sage Hashirama. Tobirama, basically what you see in the war arc. Hiruzen, now this one will have to be explained, but we'll be going over the alive prime Hiruzen and some details about what that could mean. And then, of course, Minato. This won't be KCM2 Minato. This will be